만약 당신의 가장 힘든 날이 사실은 인생의 전환점이 될 수 있다면 어떨까요? 오늘은 세계적인 코치이자 상담가, 강연자로서 활발히 활동하고 있는 토니로빈스의 최근 강연 내용을 가능한 원문 그대로 여러분들에게 전달드리고자 합니다. 한 문장 한 문장이 워낙 성찰과 깨달음을 주기 때문에 자면서 듣다 보면 긍정적인 에너지가 여러분의 밤을 풍요롭게 할 것이라 생각됩니다. 토니 로빈스 강연, 원문 전체, 보정판. 가장 힘들었던 날이 때로는 당신의 최고의 날이 될 수도 있습니다. 조건은 하나, 그 경험을 당신이 활용하는 것이죠. 그 고통이 당신을 집어삼키게 두지 말고 오히려 당신이 그것을 쓰는 겁니다. 스트레스도 마찬가지예요. 스트레스가 당신을 휘어잡을 수도 있고 당신이 스트레스를 도구로 활용할 수도 있습니다. 선택은 언제나 당신의 몫입니다. 대부분의 사람들은 스트레스가 자기 자신을 지배하도록 두죠. 마찬가지로 요즘은 많은 사람들이 기술에 끌려다니고 있습니다. 저는 어린 시절 쉽지 않은 환경에서 자랐습니다. 돈도 없었고 추수감사절에 먹을 음식조차 없었죠. 하지만 제 인생을 바꾼 건 아마 여러분 같은 낯선 사람의 친절이었습니다. 그 작은 호의가 제 삶을 바꿨습니다. 우리가 인생에서 내리는 첫 번째 중요한 결정이 뭔지 아시나요? 바로 어디에 집중할 것인가입니다. 지금 이 순간에도 우리는 무언가에 집중하고 있습니다. 의식적으로 선택하지 않더라도 늘 마음속에서 질문에 답을 내리며 살아갑니다. 문제는 대부분의 사람들이 습관적으로 같은 생각만 반복하면서 자신의 초점을 통제하지 못한다는 거예요. 하지만 기억하세요. 집중은 곧 감정입니다. 무엇에 집중하느냐에 따라 당신이 느끼는 감정이 즉시 달라집니다. 그것이 진실인지 아닌지는 상관없습니다. 어디에 초점을 두느냐에 따라 당신의 삶의 경험 자체가 바뀝니다. 두 번째 결정은 이것이 어떤 의미를 갖는가입니다. 무언가에 집중하는 순간 우리는 의미를 붙이죠. 이건 끝일까? 아니면 시작일까? 저 사람이 날 무시하는 걸까? 아니면 나를 성장시키려는 걸까? 어떤 의미를 부여하느냐에 따라 당신이 느끼는 감정은 완전히 달라집니다. 그리고 그 감정이 결국 당신의 행동을 결정합니다. 세 번째 결정은 바로 내가 무엇을 할 것인가입니다. 화가 나 있을 때와 감사하거나 창의적일 때, 혹은 즐겁거나 슬플 때 당신의 행동은 완전히 다릅니다. 결국 우리의 삶은 이 세 가지 결정이 지배합니다. 무엇에 집중할 것인가? 그것이 어떤 의미를 갖는가? 나는 무엇을 할 것인가? 이 세 가지만 바꿔도 당신의 인생 전체가 바뀔 수 있습니다. 대부분의 사람들은 늘 부족한 것에 집중합니다. 그게 동기를 주긴 하지만 행복을 지속적으로 느끼지 못하게 만들죠. 늘 부족한 것만 본다면 얼마나 성취하더라도 만족할 수 없을 겁니다. 마치 쳇바퀴를 도는 햄스터처럼요. 그러니 지금 이 순간에도 스스로에게 물어보세요. 나는 과거에 집중하고 있는가? 현재에 집중하고 있는가? 아니면 미래에 집중하고 있는가? 우린 언제든 초점을 바꿀 수 있는 힘을 가지고 있습니다. 제 어린 시절로 돌아가면 저는 4명의 아버지 밑에서 자랐습니다. 가난했고 인기 없는 아이였어요. 그런데 학교에서 가장 인기 있는 아이는 오히려 가장 못되게 굴던 아이였습니다. 저와 제 친구들을 무시하곤 했죠. 그걸 보면서 왜 저런 사람이 가장 인기가 많을까? 라는 질문을 던지게 됐습니다. 그때부터 저는 배우고 연구하기 시작했어요. 책을 읽기 시작했고 7년 동안 인간 개발, 심리학, 생리학 책을 700권 넘게 읽었습니다. 그리고 알게 되었죠. 우리가 하는 모든 것에는 패턴이 있다는 걸. 위대한 성과를 내는 사람은 결국 이 패턴을 읽고 활용할 줄 아는 사람입니다. 투자, 비즈니스, 세일즈, 음악, 예술, 춤 모두 패턴이에요. 새로운 삶을 원한다면 익숙한 패턴을 깨야 합니다. 자신을 바꾸기란 어렵지만 패턴을 바꾸는 건 가능합니다. 마지막으로 성공의 가장 중요한 원칙을 말하고 싶습니다. 그건 바로 에너지 수준입니다. 낮은 에너지에는 낮은 성과가, 높은 에너지에는 높은 성과가 따라옵니다. 당신의 감정 상태는 세상에서 가장 강력한 힘입니다. 감정은 에너지에서 비롯되죠. 에너지를 바꾸면 관계가 바뀌고 비즈니스가 바뀌고 인생이 바뀝니다. 우리는 코로나 이후로 낮은 에너지 상태에 익숙해졌습니다. 집에만 머물렀고 움직이지 않았고 그래서 에너지가 줄어든 걸 깨닫지 못하는 겁니다. 하지만 최고가 되려면 코로나 이전보다 더 나은 상태로 스스로를 전환시켜야 합니다. 그럴 때 당신은 어떤 시장에서도 승리할 수 있습니다. 기억하세요. 우리는 늘 변화 속에 살지만 삶의 질을 결정하는 건 결정입니다. 바로 이 세 가지 질문이죠. 나는 지금 무엇에 집중할 것인가? 이건 나에게 어떤 의미인가? 그래서 나는 무엇을 할 것인가? 이 세 가지를 스스로 선택하는 순간 당신은 삶의 주인이 됩니다.
Your worst day sometimes could become your best day if you use it, if you don't let it use you. Like stress could use you or you use stress, it's your choice. Most people let stress use them. Technology, most people let technology use them. At this point, I decided on 3 different decisions than my father at that time. I focused on there was food. And the second decision, what does this mean? This means strangers care, and that's what changed my life. When I was a little kid, I came from a pretty tough environment. We had no money and no food at Thanksgiving. What changed my life was somebody probably like you. That was kind. The first decision we all make in our lives, we're making it right now as I'm speaking. You may not be making these decisions consciously, but you're making these decisions. And the problem in life is, life doesn't usually change because we just answer questions in our own mind habitually, without thinking them through. The first decision we all make, you're making it in this moment, is what are you gonna focus on? There are millions of things you could focus on right now, but whatever you focus on, write down focus equals feeling. Whatever you focus on, you will feel. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. If you change your focus, you instantly change how you feel. We don't experience life. We experience the life we focus on. We have that ability every moment, but we just don't use it. We let ourselves have the habitual way of thinking, as opposed to taking control of our focus. We must take control of our focus. The second decision we make is, what does something mean? The minute you focus on something, you have to decide, what does it mean? Is this the end or the beginning? Is this person dissing me, disrespecting me? Are they challenging me? Or are they coaching me? Or are they loving on me? Whichever meaning you come up with will instantly change your feelings, and your feelings are what control your actions. So your focus, that's the first piece. The second piece is meaning, and we get to control what it means. See, if you think it's the end of a relationship, will you behave the same way as if you think it's the beginning of a relationship? Because those meanings are producing the emotions, and the emotions are making the third decision: what action are you going to take? If you're pissed off, you're going to act very differently than if you're feeling generous, or you're feeling creative, or playful, or fun, or sad. So those three decisions control our lives. But you know what? There are three patterns. And just by changing one of these patterns, you can completely change how you experience your life. Do you focus on more what you have or what's missing? We all do both, right? But here's the thing you need to understand: most achievers, overachievers, tend to focus on what's missing. It gives them a lot of drive, but it makes them never be able to sustain happiness. How could you ever sustain happiness if you're always focusing on what's missing? There's a time to notice what's missing, but if you do it all the time, you're like the hamster in the wheel. It doesn't matter how much you achieve, you're never fulfilled. So it's really important for us to get crystal clear on the pattern of how we focus. How would you feel, no matter what's going on in your life, if those are your two patterns of focus? Do you tend to focus more on the past, the present, or the future? If you want an extraordinary quality of life, then you have to be able to shift gears and notice what you do have. So whatever you focus on, you're gonna feel you already know the things to do. My job today is perhaps to get yourself to actually do those things, right? To put yourself in a state, a mindset of psychology every single day, no matter what's happening in the external world, so that you're in charge of your life and you can succeed in any market. You have to decide that I'm gonna own that, and I'm not gonna have any excuses, and I'm gonna find a way to be better than ever before. And I probably will have to work harder than I did 2 years ago. But the challenge is, most people think so short terms. Most people overestimate what they're gonna do in a year, and they underestimate what they're gonna do in a decade, or 2, or 3, or 4. In my case, it's 4.5 plus. So I'm telling you this because you can take control of everything by just getting one of these three decisions. What I'm gonna focus on, what's it gonna mean, and what I'm gonna do. If you take control of those, you literally take control of your life. Everybody wants to improve. Nobody wants to change. But in order to get what we need to do, one of the things you gotta do is discover that you need to use your nervous system more. So one of the things that helped me to transform was when I began to study patterns. There are patterns in everything that we do. If someone is great at anything, they're a student of patterns. Whether it's investing, whether it's business, whether it's sales, whatever it is, music, arts, dancing, it's patterns. And everything in our lives are patterns. In fact, a little more than 50% of what we do every day is habit. We have the same thoughts, most of us, every day, so we have the same experience every day. So if you want a new life, you gotta break some of those patterns. And when I started learning about patterns and how to shift patterns, that became huge. First, I learned to change my own patterns. I didn't need to change me, there were just these habits. And it's really hard to change yourself. It's not hard to change a pattern. And when I started learning how to do that, I started learning how to do it with others. And then gradually, it got more interesting and more complex. Once I learned enough about how to shift patterns and do it quickly, I began to see the patterns that were in everyone. So I'd start out with me just asking a question: what makes the difference in the quality of people's lives? Why are there so many people who perform so poorly when they have so much ability or potential? But some people suffer their whole life. They can have injustice of every type. They can be unloved. They can be treated poorly. They can be physically abused and come back and be an Oprah. And there are other people that they were loved. They were supported. They were given the education, the money, and they spend their whole life going in and out of rehab. Because biography is not destiny. Decision is destiny. You change everything when you make a new decision. And the first decisions are those that you're gonna focus on, the meaning, doing. But you have to decide. You have to put the line in the sand of what you're gonna settle for. We all get what we tolerate. I don't mean in other people, I mean in ourselves. And so one of the most important things that happened for me is I grew up and I was, 4 different fathers who were very poor, And I was not a popular kid, but I loved people. And the most popular kid in my high school was like the most mean. And he treated me and my buddies like beep. And I was like, how is this guy the most popular guy? And it made me want to study, so I didn't have anybody to learn from. So I took a speed reading course and said, I'm gonna read a book a day. I didn't do that, but I read about 700 books over a period of 7 years in human development, psychology, physiology, until I could start seeing patterns and know what to do to change them. And then I learned some techniques like Gestalt and neuro-linguistic programming and hypnosis things where I could make changes in minutes that I thought would take years. And then I started challenging psychiatrists and psychologists and saying, give me your worst patient. I'll handle them in an hour, not 7 years. And so now I train other psychologists. But in the beginning, I was trying to prove myself to them and to myself, probably more than anything else. There's a reason why we do what we do. And when you understand the reasons behind human behavior, you can influence it, which is your job, my job too. The number one principle to success in anything is the difference in your energy level. There is nothing that replaces it, as basic as it is. Low energy, low performance. High energy, high performance. So your emotional states are the most powerful thing in the world, and they're based on energy. If you change your energy, you'll change your relationship. If you change your energy, you'll change your business. So learning to shift your energy is the single most important thing in life. Who do you be around when all hell's breaking loose and people are freaking out? Do you want somebody to go like, what do we do? I don't know. What do you think? Or no, somebody goes, move. I'll handle it. Laughs. Good. Keep up. That energy difference is everything. We've gotten used to a much lower level of energy since COVID. People got used to sitting on their butt at home. People don't even want to go to work anymore. We have let our energy get so low we don't even know it because we're comparing to the people around us and everybody's dropped. 4 years of being cooped up changed society, added a few pounds, shifted the way people think. And if you're going to be the best in the world, you have to just shift back to better than pre-COVID, and then you'll crush everyone. It doesn't matter what the market is, but you gotta have that kind of energy. If you can recognize patterns, you will not be fearful, because you'll see this has happened before and you'll be able to anticipate what's gonna happen. Losers react, leaders anticipate. Good times create weak people in every country of the world. If you look at history, good times create weak people. They don't need to be weak, it's just they don't have to be strong. Good times create weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. And strong people create great times. And then great times create weak people again. And this is why the history of the world looks the way it is. To influence another human being, you have to know what already influences them. The mental emotional state is the number one thing. If someone is in an angry state, no matter what you say, they're going to behave very differently than if they're feeling grateful or excited or playful, obviously. So being able to change someone's state, including your own, is one of the single most important skills in life. And you'll do it in seconds. Not something that takes forever. Not some phony pump-up, not, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, and your brain goes, read between the lines, I'm not happy. Moment to moment, you are completely controlled by your state. Most people don't celebrate enough, and our nervous system starts to get weaker and weaker in terms of being linked for joy. Whatever you do regularly in your nervous system becomes a habit. So if you're always trying to fit in, or not be too happy, or not to this, or not to that, or you're just reacting to the environment, you're not priming your nervous system for your best.
Check it, listen up. I 4월의 기억 머리 열고 싸운 날 페럴의 고통 9월의 밤 또 knife and drill on track 병원비 다 태우고 연차도 다 태우고 But still I rise quit the drink 10 kilo down let's go 20 years grinding never learn to rest hospital bed told me sometimes doing nothing's best lying down I found peace in my chest 세상은 그대로 바뀐 건 내 마음의 quest 쓰지 않아도 돼 You don't gotta force it 누워 있어도 the world keeps moving 좋은 게 항상 좋은 건 아니야 Better know it's pain 어떤 구름은 부연 구름은 비를 내리고 다른 하늘은 빛을 쏘네 Thanks to my fam, my cat, and the fish in the glass 감사함을 배우는 lesson, that's the realest cash Positive circuit, spin it, pain, turn to grace 흉터는 내 몸에, but there's a smile on my face Comfort ain't in hustling, it's learning to let go Silence in my chest made the healing start to grow Good or bad, it's a story, never black and white 오늘 하루 감사하며
가을 바람에 내 마음 흩날리고 봄에는 아팠네 머리를 열고 싸웠네 가을엔 또다시 수술대에 누웠네 많은 걸 잃었지만 아직 나는 살아 술을 끊고 가